Dude, it's been toasty lately. Like, all yeah, 880. Wow. Mhm. I'm a little higher up, I think, than you, um, if I recall correctly. So, it's been getting, like, 65-ish, which is warm for, like, mid-April. Yeah, it's very pleasant. It's like drive around with the windows down kinda weather. Let me get a napkin. Bring it. Mhm. Which I was very disappointed to discover that you cannot have beer on draft if it's over, like, 5% in Utah. Yeah. Which is it's like the point of getting a beer out is that it's on draft, like, it tastes so much better on draft, usually. See, that's the thing about, like, Utah or, like, any there's no state that can just be, like, good on everything, right? And, like, Utah's drinking laws or I don't know how good the medical is I mean, how's the marijuana laws out there? Okay. Mhm. That's good. It's good. Mhm. I think um Colorado at this point, like, the only rights that the, government wants to acknowledge is to, um, have abortions or get, medical marijuana or not medical, just weed in general. You can purchase weed and you can get abortions. Otherwise, it must be taxed. That's about where they're at. And then Wyoming, like, is good on everything except weed. Like, the weed laws are like, so, like, you can't get that little trifecta, like, can I conceal carry with weed with, like, a 9% beer on draft? It's like, maybe New Hampshire. Mhm. Yeah, I'm curious where New Hampshire comes down on that. They might but that requires living in New Hampshire. No, it's honestly, I could do New Hampshire, Vermont, or Maine. It's just the rest of them, you know? All right. But if constitutional carry used to be called Vermont carry because they were the only state to have never enacted a concealed carry statute. Yeah. Yeah, no, you think of them as lefty, but they're, like, pretty good on gun laws. They have, I don't know what, like, the property tax or, like, the income tax is like up there, but whatever. It's probably fine compared to Massachusetts. I have no idea. I've been there once. Montpellier, yeah. Sorry, I might say that with a French, accent there. I speak French, but I refuse to, or, like, I understand French, but I refuse to speak it. It's pretty quick because there's not, like, all the mountains and stuff, right? So they're in the north, so yeah. Yeah. Okay, did we, launch the thing? Yeah, why are you the one talking when you're not fucking live? It's not an alter podcast. It's not an alter podcast unless there's a tech issue. Alright, so, yeah, sort out your audio, I'm gonna keep, uh, chatting for a minute here, and, yeah, you what how could like, we can hear each other perfectly, and then we spent the whole pre-show, and I had this great pun about stocks because I made chicken soup, or my wonderful fiancé made chicken soup, um, so yeah. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Oh, wait, like, Discord, like oh, there's Discord's back for me now. Good soup. So, as I was explaining to Ben in the pre-show, um, I was watching the stock market crash, and I was like, "I'm going to boil a chicken carcass and manufacture stock, because if stocks are going down, I need to make my own stocks." Right? That's how it works. Alright, I can go into a soliloquy here. I have enjoyed the news this week. It's
Yes.
been exciting and also hilarious to watch people with absolutely no stomach to sit there I can go into and say, here. Stocks are down. I should sell them.
Yeah.
Instead of this week,
Yes.
stocks are down. I should wait and just chill out. I don't need to sell these stocks immediately
Well, if you watch
in order to survive.
the news says panic, and I think my audio's fixed. Hopefully, somebody can confirm that. But the news says panic, and you have to do what the TV says. You have to. If the TV says panic sell, you have to panic sell.
Yeah, you're live.
Oh,
You're good.
sweet. Yeah. All right. So, welcome everybody to episode 170 of the Alder Podcast, Tariff'ing them softly. All right, continue.
So, yeah, no, so I went on my wilderness adventure, and I was both slightly excited and disappointed to discover that I still had cell phone service out there, which meant that I got a work call every single day, despite the fact that I had all my emails set to like automated, like I'm out of the office.
You
Please.
didn't actually answer them, did you?
Well, one, it was like I had to. It was like make or break tech issue where I would have to um, possibly like refund like several clients.
Ah.
And so it's like, oh, it's if I can fix it with a call, it's worth taking versus having to go through all the hassle of refunding people.
Fair enough.
And then I couldn't, or like I didn't really fix it, or they couldn't figure it out. So I was like, I was just getting like text messages really about like this issue, and I was like, I don't know what to do for you guys right now.
See, that's still
But, like,
kind of annoying, but text messages is like, okay. Like,
here's the deal: I'd only turned my phone's service on because I had wanted to download some tabs because there's a guitar and I wanted to play some guitar.
yeah.
And like only because my phone had service, because I was downloading a tab, did I receive a text message about some crisis. And I was like, that's like unnecessarily stressful for like I could have just ignored this. Oh, like honestly, if I'd come back on Monday and seen that, I've been like, oh, bummer. But like whenever there's like a hope of fixing something in the moment, that's when you get stressed out about it, right?
You're like, if I can just one quick text will surely just fix their problems, and I can go back to what I was
Just
thinking.
one more text, bro, I swear.
Just one more text, man. Just one more, man. Come on, one more text.
One more.
Oh, dude, thankfully I don't normally get bothered on my day off, but sometimes like I will get like, hey, this guy shows up and he wants to buy this necklace or ring. Do you know what it's supposed to be sized to? And I'm like, blah 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 blah. And that'll do, because that's just like free money right there. Like I'm selling and I'm not even at work, but like otherwise it's just leave me alone. Don't contact me on my day off.
Yeah. No, the thing is like I'm the only person who does my job where I am. So like there's no parallel person. Like I have subordinates who like I even like set up for the weekend. I was like, "Hey, this is the person you should call before you call me."
Mm-hmm.
And the person who I told them to call couldn't figure it out.
So they were like, call you. It's hard. It's hard being that guy. It really is.
So, no, but okay. The trip was fantastic.
Excellent.
I had to laugh internally mostly because, like everybody's like going out into the wilderness and then they're like, oh, it's Friday. And so the stocks are still open and they're mostly like yuppie, professionals, right? So they have 401ks and stock accounts.
Yeah.
And one of the person's parent came along on the trip. So it was like my college friends and their spouses and then their father, right?
Okay.
Or like their immediate family all came. So it was like her brother, whatever.
Yeah.
And everybody's like freaking out about the stock market. And I'm like, why are we millennials freaking out about the stock market? We're not retiring
Exactly.
for 30 years, man. Like, it's going to be fine.
What was
like,
that?
The only person who should, and I explicitly said, like, the only person who should be, like, mildly worried for, like, the next year or something like that is,
Boomers.
the older guy. But, like, again, you just sit it out for a year, you'll be fine. Like, he's not even actually retired yet. Like, he's, like, a few years out. And it's just like, just chill. It's okay. Like, nothing actually happens unless if you don't have to go to work tomorrow or you get drafted.
Yeah, one of
That's
those.
when something
That's what
happens.
happens. Like until that happens, guys, it's just a simple, easy flow chart for you to just deal with the anxiety of whatever happening is currently happening on like the slop news. And again, if you're going to work tomorrow, with the exception of like, oh, it's your normal day off, like if you're still starting your work week in the next couple of days or going to work in the next couple of days and you're not getting drafted and you have electricity and you're not being forced to speak Chinese at gunpoint, nothing's happening. Nothing ever happens. Case in point, too, my sales at the store, our store sales so far this year have been so much higher year to date than they were last year. We
Oh,
maxed
for
out.
real?
Dude, so last month, my store hit level 5 commission. There are 5 commission levels you can get, each with like an additional percentage of commission, and 5 is the maximum, and we hit that shit. And like so far, April is really good. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so Utah is a very red state. Okay, sure, everyone's confident, like things are going to work out, so they're spending money. Consumer confidence in red states are high because Trump is in office. In my sales district, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 different stores, I want to say. 4 of them are in Colorado, one's in Kansas, and 2 are in Utah. That's 7, yep. The Colorado stores, again, Colorado is, you could say there are some red pockets in Colorado. It's like maybe kind of purplish, but it's pretty heavily blue at this point. Also doing very well. Like everyone's doing very well. This quarter has gone excellently so far. With all of the economic turmoil we had last month and then all of this going on right now, I don't feel it, man. I do not feel it at all. Like my grocery prices have not gone up. Eggs have actually gotten a little cheaper, not a whole lot, but like they're down. I'm not like if y'all are having a recession, I am not y'all. That's the only thing I can say. I'm also not a boomer. I also don't, own 3 properties that fund a rental portfolio.
We might have to Airbnb one of our vacation homes.
We might, yeah, man. Oh, it looks like I'm not going to be able to reverse mortgage my house like me and my 4th wife always dreamed of.
If you wake up like being forced to read "which means "Dear President Xi, please liberate us with fighter jets."
Please send your Chengdu J-20s to liberate us. Actually, that could also just be
held.
That could just be John Cena's Instagram.
Gunpoint.
Yeah, yeah. You're on your knees in front of a bunch of PLA soldiers, but you're still the same height, so you can't really tell. I wonder if they have like. No, they'd have to invent new ammunition. I was going to say if they had like tiny child-size AKs that the PLA uses because they're smaller, but no, children use AK-47s just fine. It's such a fantastic weapon. Even a child can use it. So of course the Chinese are going to use it if that's even their main issued rifle.
They use the QBZ.
That's right, the QBZ. My bad, China. I forgot you were on that FAMAS shit now. My bad.
Yeah, that well, it's really just like a bullpupped SKS.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's got that like mid 2000s like Euro future tech look.
Yeah, oh, it's yeah, got the like singular extruded polymer frame.
Mm-hmm. I really want
it's a short stroke distant action.
Yeah, I want to see
just a bullpupped fucking SKS.
I want to see the North Korean rifle they have because it has those like those Hellenic magazines, the tubes.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, man. Like they have tube technology that loads their bullets. I guess like the Russian Bison does the same thing. It's kind of like a circular tube that feeds it.
Every nation that's tried using helical mags,
helical, thank you,
in a mass-produced fashion ends up being like, oh, this fucking sucks. And the second you take it out into the field, it's way too difficult to keep clean and like keep functioning.
Are you saying
fuck this?
Are you saying Dear Leader does not have the ability to make those magazines work for his people?
He could. You know what? You're right. Kim Jong-un went to a Swiss academy and was able to figure out how to make a helical mag that you can mass produce in a sweatshop in North Korea that doesn't jam.
Exactly. And that
He's
technology,
the only one who could figure that out. That's actually more impressive than getting a hole in one on every single hole in a the first time you play golf,
this is
which
true, but
Kimmel sung the Great Father first
he
achieved.
he absolutely did that. Yes. Did you know he actually also his body was so efficient and so blessed that he did not actually exude any waste?
Yes, that uh, he he was able to just reabsorb it and emit it as pure unicorn farts. I uh I do want to go to North Korea at some point because I really want to go to their ski resorts.
I've heard they're pretty good.
Well, the thing is like it's beautiful, like Korean mountains, like excellent, like Japan style snow, but it's Korea, so they're all too poor to ski.
Yeah, so you'd
But
be
the government's like dropped all this money into like making this beautiful ski resort. You
it's
get
just
like
going to
a
be like
private, amazing ski resort all to yourself.
you're going to be going down the mountain by yourself and there's going to be like two like North Korean dudes like 50 yards behind you, skiing behind you, like they're assigned with following you to make sure you don't go too far off the mountain.
Well, the two best skiers in Korea are like
Yeah.
trying to tell me, like, make sure I'm not like taking any unauthorized pictures or whatever.
I would like to just point out to our audience that this podcast has not turned into a North Korean podcast. We are neither subsidized nor owned by the North Korean government. Real just recognizes real.
I'm open to offers, though.
I mean, yeah, like here's the thing. We're as an ANCAP podcast, we are always looking for sponsors. So we're open to offers. Just putting that out there.
yeah, just if you want to put out some feelers and
Yeah.
see what we could work out as far as prices for pro North Korean
Yeah.
or Iranian. Honestly,
Iranian, yeah.
like what kind of dupes are we? We're doing all this for free.
Exactly. Like, what is wrong with us? Like, we could be praising the glory of the Ayatollah right now, and instead, we're talking about stocks like they matter.
So, speaking of which, how do you think the tariffs thing is going to shake down?
I honestly don't know because, like, again, the feeling I am getting on the street, like, not that like Utah County, Utah is the street necessarily, but I'm not feeling all of the economic pain and woes and all of this. Like, I'm not saying it's not happening, and I'm not saying the economy is good right now, but it's like I just a couple things come to mind. Again, this is a meme I've seen around. I don't necessarily agree with it completely, but it's like if the people who have been wrong about everything for the past 10 years are freaking out about the tariffs and how bad they are, that kind of does make me go, all right, we'll see what happens. Like, I don't necessarily think it's the end of the world, but I also don't necessarily support government intervention in the economy in the slightest, which a tariff very much is. Especially as an ANCAP, like, we are not necessarily fans of tariffs, but I also just don't. It's hard for me to feel bad, honestly, for the tech industry. It's hard for me to feel bad for Nike because they have all of these fucking sweatshops in China and like they have like not quite slave labor but just about producing these fucking sneakers for so cheap and like the markup is so high. Same thing with fucking iPhones and Samsung phones. It's like they don't cost this much to make. The markup is extreme though because they have a monopoly on the market. So like
Well, okay, here's the deal. Like, what is the main thing that like a young person who can't start a family and get ahead on their student loan debt and like can't afford a house, right? It's because assets are too expensive. It's not because they can't afford another pair of jeans from Walmart.
yeah.
It's not because they can't buy like like a random widget every other week or something like that. Goods. Here's the thing, like like I was kind of thinking about the math about this out loud
Mm.
or in my head over the last couple weeks here. It was like, okay, if I spent double the amount I spend on clothing in a year, that would be a couple $100.
Yeah, man. Like,
But if the housing prices went down by 30%, that would be a couple $100 every month for somebody renting or trying to buy a house or something like that, right?
yeah,
And so like the idea that you're supposed to freak out about deflating the asset bubble because goods that are comically cheap will get more expensive. It's like I can really shoulder the cost of paying $60 for jeans instead of $40 for
yeah.
jeans.
That's like not, especially like I'm not saying it's necessarily going to be domestically produced, but maybe it's like being produced in conditions that aren't sweatshop conditions. Like, far be it from us to take a moral stance about like people voluntarily working sweatshop labor for shit money, but like that's $20 more for jeans. I mean, video games possibly getting more expensive, I do feel is a little stupid, but at the same time, I don't buy games that much as I'm used to. Like, so whatever. And like exactly like you said, if a house is still $500,000, it doesn't matter if like an iPhone's only $1,000 or I can get Call of Duty for $50 instead of 60. Like, I don't give a shit.
No, it's entirely inconsequential
Yeah.
if that for the average Zoomer millennial, whether yeah, they have to pay. Okay, like here's something that's important, right? Coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. If I buy ground coffee at the store, let's say we double the price. It's $30 instead of $15. All right. Does that matter if housing or rent goes down, 25-30% or
Mm-hmm.
something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Not at all.
No.
It's a very insane trade-off to think about for the average person. And yeah, I think realizing that the current trade regime is propped up on insane profits in stocks that are brought about by international finance because there's a bunch of money floating out there and you can get a second mortgage on your house and that lets you invest in stocks or whatever, or you had your 401k since forever. um like the people who got in the game in the 70s and 80s before the bubble got fully inflated here. Oh, it's the amber-eyed kitty.
Mm-hmm. Scooby, what do you
uh
have to say about it? Thank you.
Thanks, Scoop. um yeah, I mean, it's just comical for me to think about fucking, you're gonna tell me you like are taking some massive hit on stuff that you got for pennies on the dollar
Yeah.
compared to people who are around today. It's like, I
Exactly.
mean, it's not like we're trying to share. And this is where I saw like a lot of right wing pundits kind of not, I shouldn't call pundits, like shit posters
Mm.
get it wrong. Is like, oh, we're like reveling in the death of the stock market or something like that. It's like, no, no, no. I mean, it's like you can go a step back from that and just be like, hey, you can't become incredibly rich just because you shut the door behind you on asset, prices,
Hmm.
and like lament that you can't buy cheap crap from Walmart anymore, as though that's your number one expense in your life day to day. And I'm like, if the tariffs genuinely affect your day to day life to such a severe degree that like you're freaking out, like it's going to cost me 20% extra per year, I'm like, what are you buying
For real. Like, what are you
every
importing?
single year? What are you importing every single year? Like I don't buy that much new clothes. I don't buy that much new furniture or
Yeah.
anything like that. I have the same fucking furniture I had in high school that my parents like, set up for me in like my first bedroom.
I got this couch behind me is the couch that I bought when I moved to this state in 2019, and like I I don't need a new
which is
couch.
evidence. Let's be real. Let's like it's evidence. Like okay, I know there's people out there who buy like a new couch every time they move or something stupid
Yeah,
like.
which I
But
might do, but
well, okay, so you're the maybe one of the exceptions to the rule. Most people I know buy like a used couch, or they have a couch that they like really struggle to move with them from place to place,
I
right?
mean, maybe this will be my other couch. Who knows?
Sure, sure.
Sure. Sorry.
Okay, I was trying to make a point that like most millennials have been living through a Great Depression
Yes.
their entire adult lives,
Yes.
which is that like we've been pinching pennies. I'm wearing pants that I have sewn multiple patches into because I don't want to buy new fucking pants.
Dude, like
And like it's
half
too
the flannels
expensive.
in my closet I have had since Obama's second term, I'm going to say.
Yes.
Like, I
Yes.
just, I'll keep wearing them until they literally disintegrate. But, like, I mean, sometimes, admittedly, I do need to, like, remind myself it's okay to spend a little bit of money on new clothes. Because otherwise, I will wear the same shit for years. I do
Yeah.
not care.
The one thing I do allow myself to splurge on is like outdoor gear, basically.
Fair, yeah.
So it or like car stuff, more or less. But even
So,
then, like I try not to splurge too much. Like I bought some used tires, and then I'm gonna like install the TPMS sensors myself, and then like the only thing I can't do is like actually put the tire on the wheel and stuff like that. Because you just need a huge, ridiculous machine to do that kind of thing. And so it's like, yeah, okay, maybe I splurged like a little bit here and there, but it's like, okay, I bought some skis that were marked 50% off. And oh, that's something that would be affected by tariffs is even, and this is a sad thing, and I wonder if the ski industry in America has thought about this, is that it's like, why does all of your aluminum or steel in your skis or titanium in your skis have to be imported from Europe, even if you're making the ski in America?
that's a good question.
Why is that? Like, have you guys not talked to the fucking arms industry
Yeah.
in America? Because they have plenty of aluminum and steel and titanium that they can make shit out of. And they're not like shutting down their factory because they don't know where to source aluminum from. That, like, it's like let's be real. Like, you could be a little more creative. Like, reach out. Like, there was some ski company in Nevada, and honestly, American ski makers aren't that big compared to like the European brands or whatever.
Fair enough.
And but they were like, this Nevada ski company was like, oh yeah, we like literally the price of aluminum's doubled, and like we don't know where to source it. That's the same quality as the one we get from Europe. And I'm like, where do they get aircraft aluminum?
Yeah.
Where do they get firearms aluminum and stuff like that for the US? Like just buy that. Like
Exactly.
your skis are fucking $1,000 a pair, okay? And there's way less aluminum in them than even in a lower receiver in an AR-15. I'm sorry, like get real.
Like, just go contact PSA. Palmetto State Arms will be happy to hook you up with their supplier. You'll be just fine. But I
You'll just
was,
be just fine.
you were talking about, like, there's not a whole lot of millennials and Gen Z who are, like, freaking out about the stock market. I do have one coworker who is the anomaly in this here. So,
Well,
he's
no,
been,
they are freaking out, but like it's like the same people who are like bring down the system, and then all of a sudden it's
yeah.
like, oh, like my multinational corporations are like having their profit
Oh
margins.
no! The people who own like 90% of the stocks in the US are losing value. That's only 10% of the population. Oh no! But no, so he's been contributing to like the company 401k for maybe like the past year or so. And like I know he does a pretty good job of doing it.
Okay,
And he
okay.
sells well.
To
But he
be fair,
doesn't
if
have
a
that.
person,
Yeah.
yeah, to be fair, to a person who's never had a retirement account, and then you have it suddenly, like you look at it go down in a year, and it's never happened to you before, like
Exactly.
you're gonna shit your pants about it.
Exactly. But like the other problem too is like he checks his portfolio and his accounts several times a day. And he has always done this. And we
No.
tell him all the time, Britton, the harder you watch it, the worse it's going to feel. All right? Like, whether it
Yeah.
goes up or down, you're just going to give yourself an ulcer, and he won't stop doing it. And this is also, I just made a post about this, but this kid, again, he's a finance major, or a business major, excuse me, marketing focused, at the business school in BYU, which is a very competitive, fairly prestigious business school.
Hmm.
And yesterday, we're bored. So he's like, oh, so I fired up ChatGPT just because I wanted to see when the best time to follow up and clientele with guests was. And I was like, oh, all right, what'd you figure out? So it says basically you don't want to do it too early in the day or too late. And usually, like, not Mondays and Fridays just because people are kind of like mentally tuned out. So, like, Tuesday through Thursday for like the middle of the day is the best time. And I'm like, really? So you don't want to call at the very start of the week or at the very end, and you want to do it in the middle of the day, not super early or not super late, huh? You needed ChatGPT to figure that out for you, bro. Okay. I'm so glad you're getting that business degree, bro.
Dude, most business. What's? Have you seen the memes about business classes before? At
Yes,
all?
some of them.
Yeah, where it's like the hardest math problem in like the marketing class is like putting shapes into matching
Yeah,
outfits and stuff like that. Like there are really difficult aspects of like business, like the accounting
for
and
sure.
finance aspects and
But
stuff
that's
like that.
not
But
like he took classes because he had to, but like he's marketing focused. So again, I feel like that speaks for itself. He's marketing focused. He's a good dude, but he's marketing focused.
Missile Launch says even ANCAPs can appreciate less slavery in the world. Amen.
Amen, dude. Amen. Like, here's the thing. If you're not getting paid a fair wage for your labor, that's bullshit. We are not pro-slavery. Pro-child soldier, pro-worker, fine, but the kids get paid, man. Like, if the child's getting paid, it's not slave labor. It's just child labor, which, whatever.
Listen, they fit so much better into those tunnels.
They do.
All right. They can assume they can go prone, they can crouch, they can even stand sometimes.
Mm.
And that gives them such an advantage,
Yeah.
comparative advantage
Also,
to
again, when
the
you're...
adult war fighters, all right, and the security providers, when you're sending them into the tunnels,
Mhm.
all right, it's just makes sense.
Also,
They
if you...
deserve a premium wage for that.
They do. Also, they are extremely efficient on crew-served weapons because they are very teamwork-oriented, and it's just easier for them, at that being that small, to kind of just deal with a thing like that. Like, it's perfect.
They're nimble.
Yeah.
All those small bits that you would normally assume it's like, oh, it's hard to get at the charging handle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like this belt catch is like really small. It's huge to them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So like, yeah, just get them
It's
on that M2 in the back. Feed that belt in. It's like the perfect size for their hands.
exactly,
That's why it was made that size. The
exactly.
the 50 caliber BMG cartridge was meant to fit across a child's hands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's what he was thinking of.
Exactly. That's
So
exactly what John Moses Browning was thinking of when he was designing the Browning M2 children's hands.
so
Woo.
no, okay. Missile Launch says as a follow up, but my heckin' Nintendorinos. Nintendo is
Fuck Nintendo, man.
leaning into their fucking monopoly
Yeah,
on
dude.
like that market of like casual. No, I shouldn't call it casual gaming, but like
Casual.
the mobile slash like accessible gaming angle.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think they were trying to say they were like charging like $60 to port games from the old Switch to the new Switch.
Yeah,
Which
man.
I'm just like, you're getting taken for such a fucking ride if you think that you're gonna if you're like going for that, but people will.
Of course
right?
they will.
Death Chilada says, "Don't call Sig Sauer. Them shits will break."
Of course not. No. No SIGs. You said it. No more.
I
No
I
more SIGs.
switched. Okay, all my SIGs
Mm-hmm.
are like 10, 15 years old at this
Okay,
point.
no, that's okay. Like old school SIGs are
Yeah,
fine. The problem is new SIG. Like that's the
the
problem.
new SIGs are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got Glocks for my everyday carry
I
pistol at
got
this
I
point.
got a Glock. I got a shield. I got a USP. I got my USP right here actually.
Oh shit,
45 stopping power, baby. Woo! Yeah. All
dude!
right.
My brother has a 5.7, like an FN 5.7 OG, and I've shot a lot of 5.7s because my dad has one too. I really like it, but also I really want to try the new 5.7 pistols that are out there because it's like if they're $300 to do the exact
The
same
Ruger
thing.
one does the job.
Okay.
Like Ruger, their guns aside, they usually have excellent customer service. Excuse me. So if
No,
you
I
run
have a
into,
couple Rugers. I have a couple. I have a Ruger shotgun and I have a 1022
they're solid
and
guns and they have good
and a
support.
Ruger
Which like,
American.
yeah, dude,
They're
they're great.
they're great.
The Ruger 5.7 it does what you need to do in a 5.7 pistol. And then I think Keltec, God bless their hearts, are coming out with something in 5.7 as well that looks real wacky.
Oh yeah, Keltec made in Wyoming, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Um, so yeah, Keltec opened their second production facility along with Magpul. So Wyoming's quite the gun state, manufacturer state. As far as like having 500,000 people and having like two major companies already in it, and there's a couple like boutique AR and like rifle makers in the state too. But like big production facilities for like every Magpul mag is made in Wyoming now.
Oh,
And,
good.
yeah. They used to be based where I went to college in Boulder, Colorado, but that outlawed. I wonder what the economic impact has been on that. It's like billions of dollars a
Yeah,
year.
man.
Um,
I was gonna
but
say
anyway,
you real quick. Utah also has a few things. Like I know we've got Christensen Arms. L3 Harris is actually up in Salt Lake. There's a couple others, I'm sure, but nothing comes to mind. But like, there's like you said, there's some boutique AR places.
but anyways, like Keltec, yeah, Keltec's making the PR 5.7, which is
Yep.
the rotating barrel 5.7. Fixed magazine. Welcome back, Steyerhahn. It's been 100 years,
We
but
missed you. We missed you.
we missed you. Fixed magazine, clip fed, 20 round, rotating barrel, 5.7. And honestly, it's like under a pound unloaded. And there's no mag to drop out of it. And I'm like, okay, they went to Wyoming and they were like, I want a pistol with really good penetration because like there's moose and bear and I
Do you-
need to like
What it honestly reminds me of, it's like somebody was like shooting a Makarov and like, dude, if this was plastic and in 5.7, it'd be like the best gun ever. Yo, man, we own a firearms company. We should make that. You're right, dude. Let's do it.
Von Kellgren shall not be disparaged in my presence. That
Peace be
Swedish
upon him.
madman-
Peace be upon him. Come on.
That Swedish madman invented the fucking Tech 9 and has been on the fucking crack ever since. Okay, like I love him. Like all of his designs are amazing. It's just that they're made out of recycled like McDonald's toys.
And hope.
I hope. Like the SU-16 is like such a cool design, like an AK that folds in on itself, and you know. Like,
Here's the thing: the
RPD is pretty cool.
the KSG is like hands down. It's a cool shotgun. The barrel extension that helps you not blow your hand off as well is also great.
Wait, on the sub 2000
No, the KSG.
SG. Oh, is that the shotgun?
That's
thing?
the dual magazine fed shotgun where you pump it and like when you reach the end of the stroke on the pump, like your hand, the muzzle's like right there, and if you're going real fast, that happens. So,
Oh yeah.
but no, they're cool ass shotguns. Like it was in John Wick, so you know it's good.
Yeah, sure.
Oh shit. What
No, I mean
else?
it's just literally Keltec is if it's not even I I hate to say this, like think about other Swedish companies, right? You've got Volvo
Mm,
and Saab
mm,
and Husqvarna,
mm.
and then you got good old Keltec. And it's like I wish Husqvarna did like I wish um John Kellgren, originally he worked for Husqvarna.
I think you've
That's who
mentioned this
made the
before.
Swedish canines and stuff like that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. And like if he still had the manufacturing from Husqvarna to make all that stuff, like everybody loves Husqvarna tools, right? Like
Mm,
the chainsaws are awesome and all the power tools are awesome.
mm.
I think they would like if they brought that level of QC to everything, it'd be perfect.
What I'm also hearing here is that Keltec, in combination with Husqvarna, has the ability to recreate the Lancer from Gears of War.
I've never thought about that, but that's beautiful. And
Isn't
I'm
it? I
so
mean,
glad that
it could
you
it could happen. It could happen. We will meme this into existence. The Keltec
you
Lancer.
heard it first, okay?
We heard it here first. We don't need
The Kel-
royalties, but when you produce the rifle, we would each like a free rifle. That's all we ask.
um, yeah, there we go. I was trying to get my camera to behave.
Uh,
Okay. Um, so yeah, Death Chalada says Siga please. The OG 57s are the sauce. Dude, if you ever get one and put a threaded barrel on it and a Gemtech suppressor, that is some real fun.
I was
It,
also looking into a Gemtech suppressor recently because eventually I would like to get a suppressor that will handle 10 millimeter, and there are not a whole lot of pistol cans that can actually do that. Or 5.7.
oh, yeah, well, okay, no, the thing about 5.7 pistols though is that most of them are blowback.
Okay.
And so as a result, you don't need a Nielsen device on the suppressor. So you use a direct thread
Interesting.
on the barrel. That's the other thing about the PR57 with the rotating barrel. Well, okay, so it does have a rotating barrel, which means that the mass will be increased when you add a suppressor to it. I haven't seen somebody suppress a PR57 yet, but the OG like FN57 and the Rugers and the PSA 57, I think they're all direct blowback, right? Um,
I believe.
so yeah, you can suppress them without needing any kind of booster or anything like that.
I mean, if you think
Anyway,
about it, though, you could probably have like a similar setup to whatever you would have on like the PX4 Storm, because I know people do suppress those, and that has a rotating barrel.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure
yeah.
it's doable.
Just Charlotta also says Keltec has that goofy carbine that takes P90 mags, stuff and
Yep.
things. Has an AR trigger lower that works with it now. Oh,
Oh,
that's
very
kind of
cool.
fun.
Very nice.
I didn't know about that. Yeah, a little like the P90 mag on like a pistol format pistol. It's kind of cool. Kind of like that. Like I said, all the ideas are great. It just comes down to execution.
Yep.
I haven't. I've shot a sub 2000. And I've shot P380.
Oh, the
And
Zimmerman gun.
yep.
Nice.
And I was it was remarkably the most tool like pistol I've ever shot. It definitely feels like plastic in the hand. Like you should, but that's me coming from like, shooting Smiths and Wessons and uh SIGs like metal frame or Berettas and stuff like that. Metal frame guns. They feel much more solid.
Yeah, they do.
But the thing that FN57 does it avoids is that it's all made out of plastic and it shoots like it's a laser gun. Like it's really flat and barely any recoil or anything like that.
Well, it's
But
pretty
it still
large.
avoids. Yeah, it is. It's a full size pistol, but it doesn't feel like it's just a plastic toy or flimsy or anything like that.
No, it's
Nothing
always felt
wiggles on
solid.
it.
Like it's light,
Yeah.
but it feels solid. That's the thing.
Hmm.
I miss finger
All right.
fucking new handguns.
Oh, dude. Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't not had like a gun budget in a long time.
Yeah. Oh, I just
Kind
meant
of
like when I was working in
frustrating.
a gun store, it was nice because like the new shit would come in and you get to fuck around with it. And
Oh, sure, sure, sure. I mean, I kind of used to go in like once a month and or like whenever there was like a new gun, like I was kind of curious about, like I just like fuck around with the gun store employees and like spend half an hour like, fucking around with it or whatever. But um yeah, yeah. I have not I can tell I haven't gone to the range in a long time because there's too much glass in my garage right now. Because I always can drop off the glass recycling on the way when I go to the range.
word, word.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh man, I need to go shoot a box of ammo. Probably
I
about
went last Friday. Yes, last Friday I went shooting. It was nice. I shot an MP40. I thought it was hilarious because I originally tried to rent an
is it a
Uzi.
semi-auto one or is it a
No,
full auto
it
one?
was full auto. It was full send.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So it's chambered in 9, and I originally actually tried
Yeah.
to rent a Uzi, but they only had 115 grain. And like I knew it was going to be a problem, but they were just like, "Yeah, here you go. This is the good stuff. It'll run it." And I'm just like, "All right, we'll see what happens." And of course, it could not get through a mag because 115 grain
Yeah.
does not work in an Uzi. And then I switched over to the MP40, and it ran flawlessly. And I had to laugh at the image of like Hitler looking at the situation from beyond the grave, going, "Ha, yeah." But no, it was a good time. I definitely need to get out and shoot more because like my groupings are all pretty solid, but like on most of my guns, I do have a little bit of a low left thing going on. Like I'm still center, but it's like definitely there's a little bit of a lean. But once I get my Beretta slide back from Langdon and I figure out what sight I'm going to put on it, I'm going to be shooting a lot more. So
That's dope.
I'm very
Okay.
excited. I was gonna go with, so I'm getting a Trigicon play. It's an RMR footprint. I was gonna go with the RCR, which is their closed emitter one, because if it's gonna be a duty handgun or my carry, I want closed emitter. But the RCR has weird ass proprietary screws that do not work on like a Langdon job, which is whatever. Like I'll deal with that. But like I'm thinking now I might do the RMR HD, which looks really good on a Beretta. Like really like it fits the profile well. No disrespect to closed emitters, but it doesn't look like a mailbox, which I feel like on an Italian handgun you need to have a little bit of class going on. If you literally just look up Beretta 92 RMR HD, like there's a couple that have it. It looks good.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm looking. Yeah, the Beretta 92 with that big long exposed barrel, it just evokes like for some reason it unlike any other handgun, it evokes this like classical Renaissance like rapier, and that's why they used it in the what was it, the 90s adaptation of Romeo and Juliet where it's set in Venice Beach.
Yes, yes, yes.
And they had all these beautiful like stainless Berettas and like other like European handguns as their steel, you know? And it was just like, oh, I love that they did that. Actually, want to kind of rewatch that again.
You heard it here, folks. Your watching assignment for this week is the
And
that version of Romeo and Juliet, whatever year
yeah,
that came out.
what year did it come out? The 96 one. Oh, it's 96.
96. All right.
Um, let's go to IMFDB, Internet Movie Firearms Database. Do you go to this website?
All the time.
Yes. Okay. Um, there's a Para Ordnance P13, which is a 1911-ish copy. There's a Taurus PT99 AFS, which is a Beretta 92 copy. There is a long slide Beretta 92. That one's
Mm.
so good. The Tybalt's Rapier 9mm Series R. They made custom guns for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And oh yeah, the Tybalt's gun has a red dot on it. This is back in 1996. There's a fucking red dot on that Beretta.
Ahead of its
That is
time.
so
Ahead of
dope.
its time.
Um, Mercutio has another Beretta with a side cut magazine, see through. Um, there's the Smith and Wesson 629. There's a two tone 92. Yeah, just like a ton of Berettas. There's a Walther P5, a Glock 17. Mossberg 590, MP9, or yeah, MP9 or MP5K. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
HK94,
Ooh.
Colt Commando, um, an M16A1. There's an FMFAL. There's
Mm-hmm.
a G3 SG1 carbine. There's an M60 at one point on the helicopter.
Excellent.
Rota PD, SWAT runs with, and they got an M60 on the helicopter. Okay, cool, cool, cool. That adaptation was like exactly how you ought to do, like an adaptation where you keep all the like the language the same, but you're like you make it make you make the story make sense within modern
Mm.
times. And it's like, okay, they don't literally have swords and daggers pointed at each other all the time. They have guns.
There was another movie that did that, actually. It's not nearly as good as that version of Romeo and Juliet, but they did a version of Coriolanus with Ralph Fiennes and Gerard Butler, I think. That
Oh, really?
it's kind of dry, admittedly. Like, it's well done, but it's like Rome is like modern day military power, and like Coriolanus is like deployed in like Afghanistan essentially, and it's interesting. It's well done. The actors do their jobs well. It's just very dry. Like there's no other way to put it. But I always thought it was cool just to see it done from that perspective, because he was like a pissed off like Afghanistan vet who came back and was like and I thought it was well done.
Okay.
But like I
When
said,
did-
not when did that
I'm
come
look
out? Hang on,
I'm looking at it now. I'm trying to see the release date. 2012.
2012.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, so we started watching the Rome HBO series, and
Mm,
it'd been a long time, and I shat on it a little bit for being like wandering around like the love triangle plot or something like that,
mm,
and I forgot that it's the legionaries that like kind of hold the main plot
mm. No
back a
one
little bit.
fucks with the 13th Legion.
And it's just like I get that they're like Forrest Gumping their way through the entire story, and they're like the vehicles for all these little things to happen, but I would like they very like unceremoniously like kill off like the one legionary's family like
Yeah,
entirely at the beginning of like the second season.
and it's like he doesn't. It's odd how he just doesn't really deal with it.
Well, they spend like an episode and a half of him like trying to like square with it a
A
little bit.
little, yeah, but like here's the thing. It's a good show. I feel like it does kind of sputter out a little bit towards the end. But
Well,
it has a lot of good spots. It has some great characters. It's quotable.
well, what I realized in retrospect is that I had been remembering the book,
Mm-hmm.
The October Horse, and not the actual Rome HBO series.
Excellent.
And The October Horse is still a great book, and I remember it fondly and everything like that. Because it talks about this exact period of history where there's the Civil War of '49
Mm.
into like Cleopatra and Octavian assuming power and stuff like that. And that's where like the two seasons of Rome are kind of based on. And yeah, I just remember there being way more like drawn out, like because it's written by as a historical drama. What's her name? It, it, Colleen McCullough.
Mm.
Colleen McCullough, and she wrote this whole series of like the Masters of Rome, kind of like dramatizations of like the history of like Rome. And the sixth book is the October Horse, which is about like Caesar becoming dictator and everything. Um, and yeah, there's just this like really drawn out like Cleopatra trying to seduce Mark Antony versus Caesar and everything like that. That's what I was remembering. Uh, Cleopatra's appearance in Rome, the TV series, is like an episode in the
Yeah.
first season,
Yeah.
and they get through the entire story of it. Like it's pretty quick and to the point. And the like the love triangle-ness is not drawn out. But Colleen, I like it's kind of like borderline like not I wouldn't say it's like erotic novel, right? Um but it's not romantic novel or anything like that. But it just has that hint of like, oh, this is the juicy stuff.
Ah, all
Like,
right. So
the women buying the books are really into.
I got you. It's a little spicy, in other words.
Yeah, it just tries to get a little spicy with that
All
love
right.
triangle
All right.
and
Okay.
stuff. And that's where I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was remembering. The Rome HBO show is pretty good. You can just tell that they had a really constrained budget,
Yeah.
and that they could not like do battles or like scenes with lots of extras and lots of reshoots or like change locations all the time. Like once they get the locations established in Rome,
They
they're like,
don't really venture out of
good.
that a whole lot, yeah. Like in the beginning, like the first episode, and so you do have a little bit of combat, like in the field, and you do have like a little bit of like Caesar
but it's all
receiving.
very very tight shots.
It's very
and
tight
it's
shots,
like
yeah.
10 dudes at most.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nothing like Gladiator or whatever,
No.
where you're like, yeah. And that's the thing. Like, if they were to make this today, like with the tech that they had for, like Game of Thrones or whatever, which would be like way like above what they had 23 years ago. Like, it would be so good. And this is what people actually crave. Like, if they did like a full Rome series like of like not the early Republic, maybe would be a little bit boring. Maybe the first season's about King Tarquinius or whatever, but like if they did that whole like Roman Empire history phase.
What you're saying is you need like a plot, like cinematic scenes that kind of just around like massive like Rome 2 Total War battles that are just made to like.
Yeah, and I've been playing a lot of Rome Total War 2 lately. And they upgraded like the politics system to make it like they took like these politics dynamics that like make the game so much more playable. But they're slightly broken because once you figure them out, you're like, oh shit, I'm making like 20,000 denarii a turn.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's okay.
That's okay. That's fine. Yeah, I very much enjoyed replaying Rome 2. Now, they did this update very quietly, apparently, and like a year or two ago. I haven't replayed it since they did it, but like they totally overhauled like the factions and the houses party internal.
So
politics.
I play it probably
way
like
more playable.
I play it usually like once or twice a year at least, and like I was playing it a little bit back in January, and I like the system. I like what they've done with it. I like the fact that they'll still give these updates for this game years after it was released. I think this game's been out for like 10 years at this point. Let me check that. Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah, that's a great question. Released 2013.
Damn, 11 years old, and it still holds up.
It still holds up. I mean, honestly, on release, it was
A
almost
mess.
unplayable.
It was a mess
Yeah,
originally, but they came out with the like the updated like the updated editions, and then of course
it's
like
23.
I also subscribe to the Radius Total War mod for Rome 2, which adds a lot and does a lot, and I like it. But it still holds up overall. Like it's a great game. The graphics are still decent.
No, it's just like 10 years after the game came out. They're like, oh, by the way, like we're putting out this we're like basically making it a new game. Like it plays like it's a completely different game than what it did at release. Like it's crazy. Um, cool.
Cool.
Well, yeah, we're a little past an
We
hour
are,
here.
but no, that
Any
was.
prognosis for the future?
I think we'll
Chicken
just
entrails for us.
have to wait and see. Like again, I'm not saying jewelry is necessarily an economic indicator, but it is a pretty good economic indicator that if people stop spending money on jewelry and luxury goods, we are winding down economically. But like if that doesn't stop, people keep spending money on jewelry and other luxury shit like recreational vehicles and ATVs and whatever, what have you. We're probably not really entering a recession as like you and I may have understood it from the Biden administration or like 2008. Like it's not really that per se, or the COVID drop. Yeah, like tech industries and Nike and Apple losing stock value and boomers having their retirement funds and portfolios crap out a little bit. Like I don't. Sorry. That's all I
No,
got.
I could see like a short-term recession happening, and the
Maybe.
problem being is that it'd be too close to the midterms, and people would think that, you know, it's because something wrong is happening versus something healthy happening,
Exactly.
right?
Which we'll have to
Uh,
see ultimately, but
Well, I mean, I don't believe it either way. Like we were saying, we might have praised tariffs a little bit, or it might have sounded like we praised tariffs excessively at the beginning. I will say it's like, um, you know, I the idea that like we're not going to have a trade deficit with a country that like only produces bananas or coffee and like, okay, what are we going to sell to them? I mean, I guess like heavy machinery for harvesting or something like that. Like you can't plan an economy
yeah.
like that. And the idea that we're going to like atomize, like America can get away with it because we're a big country.
Yeah, we're
But like
like
if you
the
were going to say
largest consumer base in the world.
the idea that we're going to atomize all these other countries based on the idea that like we're going to it's good for us to be self-sustaining in X industry or Y industry. It's like, okay, individually in my household, would it be great if everybody individually made their own dinner every single night? Like, obviously not. Like, we could share the labor
Yeah.
and like split it from time to time and like share a meal. Like, you do it sometimes, I do it sometimes. Like, there's a trade deficit. There's a massive trade deficit between me and the fucking grocery store, right? Like
Yeah.
all they get is dollars and I get all these goods, but I never sell any goods to the grocery store.
Exactly.
It's like um yeah, sometimes it just makes sense when stuff's like that.
Yeah.
So hopefully they're not absolutely idiotic and think that they have to solve every single trade deficit uh, in order to make the American economy work again.
But don't hold your breath at the same time.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on our 170th episode. We're finally out of the 60s. It felt like it took us like forever to get out of the 160s. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe out there. I hope your finances are doing well. You don't take any major hits. And, as always, especially with the 15th coming up, taxation is theft.